Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and welcome to Foxwoods Resort and Casino here in Mashantucket, Connecticut. It's time for our featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Artur Palullo's Banner Promotions in association with the undisputed King of Beers, Budweiser, Foxwoods Resort and Casino, and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the WBO, the president and supervisor in attendance, Francisco Valcarcel, along with the Mashantucket Pequot Athletic Commission, the chairman, Joey Carter, vice chairman, Richard Butler, commissioner, Peter Timothy, executive director, Joe Letelier. Our physicians at ringside, we have Dr. Michael Schwartz, Dr. Anthony Alessi, Dr. Joseph Carpentieri, and Dr. Kevin McGuire. Our timekeeper at the bell is Lou Dell. Introducing to you our three judges scoring from ringside. From Ardsley, New York, Melvina Lathan. From Port Charlotte, Florida, Donald O'Neill. And from Providence, Rhode Island, Clark Sammartino. Our third man of the ring, the referee in charge, is working in this, his 26th world title bout, Eddie Cotton. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Lightweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Foxwoods, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, ladies and gentlemen, on my right, fighting out of the blue corner tonight, he is the challenger. Entering the ring wearing white trunks with blue lettering, hailing from Salvador, Brazil. He weighed in at the lightweight limit of 135 pounds even. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with 34 wins, no losses, 31 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is challenging for his third world title. Here is the hard-hitting WBA and WBO 130-pound champion of the world, introducing the undefeated Acelino, Freitas. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion. On my left, fighting out of the red corner, he enters the ring wearing black trunks, fighting out of Hamburg, Germany, by way of Tashkent, Uzbekistan. He weighed in at a ready 134 pounds. He also is undefeated in his campaign with 36 wins, no losses, 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight he is making the 18th defense of his title. Please welcome the reigning WBO lightweight champion of the world, introducing King Artur Grigorian. 12 rounds of action scheduled. Once again, Eddie Cotton is a referee.
God bless you, buddy. All right, boxers, you both received my instructions. Obey my commands. Protect yourself at all times. Let's keep your punches up. All right, I expect a good, clean fight. All right, the trunks are good. The trunks are good. They're good size. All right, let's touch gloves. God bless you both. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, a fight with strong international flavor as a German-based Uzbek meets a Brazilian in the Connecticut woods. Artur Grigorian, a seasoned ring-savvy southpaw, not necessarily a hard puncher, but an accurate one. A fighter who owns a victory over Shane Mosley as an amateur. Acelino Freitas, a lightweight with a heavy punch, can knock you out with one shot. But he's got to be careful not to be reckless with his punches or careless with his defense. A big reason he's been in several tough blood-drenched battles of late. They touch gloves. Here we go. The southpaw in the black trunks, Artur Grigorian, the conventional fighter, the right-hander in the white, Popo, Acelino Freitas, both undefeated. If Freitas wins tonight, he's got 10 days to decide which titles he wants to keep, either at 130 or 135 pounds.
You know, this first round, a very important one for Grigorian because he's coming in off a year layoff, had surgery on his right shoulder. Freitas can be a very murderous puncher early in the fight, and I think his people want Freitas to go after him. We'll see if he does.
And he is. He's gone the distance, Freitas, 3 of his last 5, and had to rely on a late power surge to escape with a win his last fight. Remember, this is a guy who knocked out his first 29 opponents. The feeling tonight, Freitas, who clearly has the better quality of opposition, will have his way. Grigorian is a crafty left-hander, a lot of guile, clever. If he wins, he'll be the longest reigning lightweight champ of all time, going past Benny Leonard back in 1917 through 24. It'd be 7 years, 9 months if Grigorian wins.
Did we ever do any Benny Leonard fights? No, I don't think so. Grigorian.
Speak for yourself.
Maybe you did. Grigorian is pressing the action against Freitas, which is really kind of interesting. Even though, he's, as you say, he's a clever southpaw, he's not someone that runs. He's not someone that gives you a lot of lateral movement, and many believe that that would benefit Freitas because he could land right hands like that.
Let him go. Good job. Thank you. Good job. No, you're all right. Good job.
Eddie Cotton, the referee. What a difference in this fight as opposed to Freitas' last. The atmosphere, the brash, arrogant Jorge Barrios tried to psychologically intimidate, really get under the skin of an already emotionally drained Freitas. Grigorian, in dramatic contrast, so respectful and reserved. And Freitas so much more focused going into this fight.
If there's a punch that, against the left-handed that Freitas is susceptible to, we saw it against Atta and then also against Casamayor, it is the straight left hand, and Grigorian has a good one. You can see everything Grigorian does is designed to set up that punch.
Oh, what a smacking right hand by Acelino Freitas. Almost a duck-away move. Great shot by Freitas, and now it really opens up.
Freitas, though, looks wild with those punches. I mean, that's atrocious technique, worse even than he showed in the Barrios fight. So if he's going to throw those kind of punches, he's going to leave himself open to Grigorian landing counter punches.
He was very wild against Jorge Barrios, and he's going for the swinging for the fences here in the first round against Grigorian.
Are you okay? You're looking good. This is what we want. This is how I want it. Now, listen to me. When you get defensive, you need to do it faster. Don't go up too fast. You need to be careful with the cross. But say you're winning. You are winning. This is what you need to do. But be careful. Keep your distance all the time. Keep your distance. Don't get close. Keep your distance.
Oscar Suarez, like the referee Eddie Cotton from Patterson, New Jersey, 5-0 with Acelino Freitas. Our thanks to Annabelle Miramontes for translating. They speak a combination of Portuguese, Spanish, and boxing in that point.
You know, he is 4-0 against lefties, Freitas, but the only two of the men that have gone the distance with him are, in fact, lefties, Casamayor and Atta.
And, of course, Freitas in the Casamayor fight benchmarked the victory.
Good job.
When everybody thought his power would be the story, he actually showed very good boxing technique. Well, you've mentioned that many, many times. And it's so true. Freitas controlling the first half of that fight. Casamayor came back in the second, and a very controversial victory for Freitas. Freitas using a lot of movement.
You know, Freitas is one of the few fighters who can fight left-handers wrong and still end up doing okay. He's moving the wrong way. He's throwing mostly straight right hands, jabs, no left hook, and yet he's the kind of guy, because of his hand speed and his awkward punching, that can get those punches in.
All right, let him go. Turn around. Good job. Thank
and it's Grigorian who's supposed to be the awkward southpaw. And yet perhaps being thrown off by Freitas' conventional style, which is more awkward than his. Grigorian 36-0, 18-0 in world title fights.
That's good.
Freitas 34-0, 11-0 in world title fights. They call him Popo.
Okay, stop one. Pick up. Good job. Come.
You know, we assume that Freitas is the bigger puncher, even though he's coming back up from 130. And he is ripping good body shots to Grigorian. He's hit him with some pretty good right hands already. So far, he doesn't have a dramatic effect, but of course, he's very early in this fight. Freitas has fought over half his fights as a lightweight at 135 pounds early in his career, but he fought a lot of fights at this weight, so I believe him when he says he's comfortable.
Stop punching it. Don't hit behind head no more, okay? Okay, good job.
In the Acelino tournament we alluded to earlier, he won at 135 pounds early in his career.
Some rabbit punching by Grigorian, getting a caution from Eddie Cotton. You may remember Cotton from the Tyson-Lewis fight. He refereed there. Freitas just got caught with a right uppercut by the left-hander, Grigorian.
Acelino Freitas is becoming, fight by fight, a more unorthodox fighter as time goes on. We saw it at the Barrios fight, and we're seeing more of it here. And I don't ascribe that entirely to the fact that he's in against the left.
Good job.
Peter Schulze will help us with the translation.
You have to look up your uppercut. You have to show the uppercut to him. The jab and then the uppercut.
Okay.
Well, speaking of uppercuts, Grigorian came close to getting one in. Now, as he bends in, he throws that left uppercut and misses. Acelino Freitas with some pretty good head movement, but if Freitas continues to bend in, yes, they are going to want that uppercut more, and they're calling for it in Grigorian's corner.
Fritz Zadunik talking to Grigorian, longtime trainer of former light heavyweight champ Darius Miklashevsky, former WBO heavyweight champ Vitaly Klitschko, also worked with brother Vladimir, former champ, until December when Freddie Roach took over. Round 3 scheduled for 12 for the WBO lightweight championship. Currently owned by the man in black, left-hander Artur Grigorian from Uzbekistan, now living in Germany, Hamburg.
He's a part of Peter Cole's Universum crew over there. You mentioned Miklashevsky, also Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko, 2 fighters. It's a very successful franchise over there. That's part of the reason why we haven't seen Grigorian in this country. He has fought to huge crowds over there and has been very popular. This is the pace of a fight that Grigorian likes. It's not being fought at a wild pace. There are not a lot of punches being thrown. He wants this.
Yeah, not the most scintillating or flashiest of guys, but he gets the job done in unassuming fashion. He wears people down, breaks them down. Good right hand by Grigorian, snuck one in there. A right hook in his case. But usually a steady dose of right jabs and straight left hands. Deliberate, awkward, methodical. Grigorian in the black. Strong amateur background. 92 Olympian at Barcelona. And as mentioned, did beat Shane Mosley, although a very young and undeveloped Shane Mosley at the time, 1990 Goodwill Games. A man who speaks Armenian and Uzbek, plus Russian, German, and a little English thrown in. Understood some of the stuff we were talking about.
I sensed he did.
Yes. In the meeting yesterday. Popo picking up some English as well.
Freitas is fighting this fight exclusively on the outside and letting Grigorian kind of dictate the pace to him. And, you know, not much is happening in this round, but it's a round you could score for Artur Grigorian. He's landed a couple of decent shots. Freitas has been very inactive. And there's the straight left getting in for Grigorian.
Freitas knows he's in with a polished, technical fighter.
This is like playing a basketball team that you know. It's like playing Princeton. You know they want to keep you in the 40s or the 50s, and if you let them do that, they have a chance to win, and that's what Freitas is doing. He's letting Grigorian settle into a very leisurely pace in which not too many punches are thrown. You don't want to do that against this man.
Pete Carrill would be thrilled to hear you say that.
Yeah, I would reference him, that backdoor offense. It's great.
Good job, folks. Good job.
Back in attendance is Acelino's wife, Eliana. They recently patched things up after a highly publicized split in Brazil. Their wedding televised nationally throughout their homeland a few years ago.
When your wedding is on national television, any split will be pretty high profile, won't it?
Well, as you would know from personal
oh, yeah, that's happened to me on several occasions. We see that both these fighters at long range, and there's the straight left hand from Grigorian as Freitas moves in. That's the ticket for Artur Grigorian. If he can land that straight left and do it enough in this fight to eke out a decision, that's what he came over here to do.
As we enter into round 4, it is scheduled for 12 for the WBO lightweight championship. Freitas with his tremendous speed and punching power, tremendous confidence and determination.
No.
And they get tangled up, and Freitas helps him up. Good sportsmanship by the Brazilian. Very physically strong. As I mentioned, so different the atmosphere going into this fight and during the fight as opposed to the last one. And Barrios just really agitated Freitas.
And you know, there's a strong contingent of Brazilian fans here, as we saw before this fight started. And Grigorian has kind of taken them out of this fight because and so is Freitas with the way he's fought the fight. It's settled in, and they're not able to give their man extra energy. It's a nice right hand by Freitas.
And he staggers Grigorian. It was a combination punch and balance. And Grigorian lost his balance. That got the crowd back.
Acelino Freitas is doing something pretty wild. He is running to his left so he can throw the right hand. Usually when you move to your left against a southpaw, first you throw the hook, then the right hand is there. He's like running to his left and winging a wild right hand as if somehow that's going to be the answer. Though he is landing a lot of right hands in this round. And there it goes.
There it is. Right hand. And Artur Grigorian down for only the second time in his career. And yes, it was a Brazilian who put him down the first time. Antonio Pirulua, November 2000. But Grigorian won it by decision. Now, Freitas looking for the finish in the fourth. So Grigorian down for only the second time in his career, and both times at the hands of Brazilians. Now ironic. Big right hand upstairs by Freitas. Freitas scoring at will now. And good defense there by Acelino Freitas.
And the problem for Grigorian here is he doesn't have the kind of punch that can keep a charging Acelino Freitas off him. He is so wild in this fight, and yet he's getting away with it because Grigorian can't counterpunch him. Look at that wild move. He moves to his left and then throws a double right hand.
Freitas looking like Kid Gavilan.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good analogy. Except Kid Gavilan
hitting.
Yeah.
It's not connecting.
Get up. But he's landed a few of those right hands, enough to knock him down in this round. It hurt him on a couple of occasions.
Gavilan learning the bolo punch by cutting sugar cane in Cuba and recently passed away.
Look at the right hand. Acelino Freitas may redefine how to fight lefties from this fight. Who knows?
Very unorthodox. And his wife and this Brazilian contingent are loving it.
You have to stay clear of your mind. You have to go direct into.
The power of Acelino Freitas did come up with him from the junior lightweight division. It was an uppercut, a left uppercut that really started the problem, and then there was the right hand that sent Grigorian down. So interestingly, from underneath, that kind of awkward left uppercut was the one that started the problem. There it is. And then Freitas keeps bombing away, and that right hand sends Grigorian down. It's not pretty, but it's working for Freitas, and I guess that's the ultimate answer.
Whatever works. The Brazilian Acelino Freitas. No concerns about power as he moves to what he calls his natural weight, 135, able to carry that pop from 130. A lot of folks had thought Coco had lost his pop after 3 decisions. Well, we're really into the tongue twisting tonight.
I think a lot of alliteration. And of course, he was able to ultimately get Barrios out, as you pointed out. And now here he is showing his power against Grigorian. You know, Grigorian comes into this fight, as we pointed out, not only off a year layoff and surgery, but not a good performance against Matt Segan, in which he won a 12-round majority decision that many believe he could easily have lost. So it's not like Artur is coming into this fight on a roll.
That was a bloody affair. Grigorian was cut over the left and right eye in head clashes way back January '03. And after that, Grigorian had an operation on his right shoulder. So adding more to his difficulty. He just scored with a straight left, Grigorian, on the jaw. Freitas has been down 5 times in his illustrious career of 34 fights, no defeat. 2 times in his last fight before coming back to stop Barrios in the 12th.
Good job. He's now kind of luring Grigorian, and he thinks now he can land a counter right hand. And I think that's part of what he's up to here, Freitas. And there, you see through the right hand and it missed.
Jab-right combination, usually the bread and butter stuff for Acelino Freitas. Left jab, hard right.
I think Acelino Freitas could just pressure Artur Grigorian and get him out of there. I don't know that Grigorian has the kind of power that he can stun Freitas, even if he's moving forward. And I would think he would want to simply go after him. And Grigorian is very rusty. The year layoff has hurt his accuracy. Even Oscar Suarez, the trainer of Freitas, very impressed as they looked at tapes, as was I, with the accuracy of Grigorian. We haven't seen that here tonight.
But yeah, he does look unsteady here tonight. Perhaps that is a result of the long layoff. That's a pull down by Freitas. Freitas, who sparred with several southpaws going to this fight, he said against Casamayor, unfortunately, he had right-handers turning into left-handers as sparring partners just for practice. But here it was a much more refined way of getting ready for a southpaw. Now Freitas digging to the body.
Every punch Freitas throws is designed to be a home run ball with control or knockout.
Evil intent.
You have to move. You have to move to the right. Or your left hand to the center.
The cross has to be faster, but not open. No, keep moving your upper body like you're doing it. You need to go a little more on the side. You're going too straight. Come on, you know what to do.
Oscar Suarez talking to Freitas. Fritz Zadunik with wise instructions for Grigorian. Move to your right. to get away from Popo's power with his right hand.
All right, step back.
You know, Freitas could, oh, there's the right hand again as he moves to his left. And now Freitas is starting to throw the left hook a little bit more, which will open up that right hand even more. That's a knockdown? No way.
He's calling that a knockdown. And you see Grigorian's reaction. He thinks it's a joke.
Bad call.
You ready to go? Yeah,
Very questionable knockdown here. So that's the second knockdown against Grigorian after he was down only once his entire career prior to this night. This is 37th fight. Looked like more of a push or slip.
Well, Grigorian has had trouble with his footwork. There you see him going backwards. It's not that he's always hurt by the punches of Freitas, but his balance has been terrible in this fight. And that's not
Freitas again swinging for the fences here, Al. Wild and crazy.
I'm dumbfounded at the technique of Acelino Freitas. This is something different.
Or lack thereof, yeah.
And yet he is certainly winning this fight. And now with this knockdown going his way, and that seems like a gift.
Well, we brought it out early. He's fueled by emotion, and perhaps he wants to give the crowd a treat, but shouldn't be going about doing it this way.
Well, he has there's a certain plan to this. When he rushes to his left, it's the idea of throwing that right hand, and there he does it. Now he throws the hook. I just have never seen a fighter approach a lefty that way. It's like somebody rushing in tennis to not hit their backhand and hit the forehand and go around the other way.
It's very undisciplined, that's for sure. Very uncontrolled.
He's making it work to a great extent. Part of it is because Grigorian's not quick enough to do anything about it. But it's working for
This would not work, though, against a lot of people.
Oh, no way. Not against Joel Casamayor, I assure you.
Or Diego Morales, people like that ilk. Straight right hand.
Punch out, yeah.
Upstairs to Grigorian. Grigorian glancing blow at the right. He's game. Another straight right that nailed Grigorian. Again to the head. And Freitas is head hunting with both hands. Well, he's throwing that one from Boston.
Okay, good job. Come on.
He turned lefty for about 30 seconds. I don't even know if that was intentional, but he did either. Not sure.
But it sure felt good because it's warm in here. Nice fan effect for us.
Breathe, relax. Breathe. Pull your body all the way up. There you are. Give me some water. Just keep that distance. You're going straight with the straight hand, but you're not opening. You're not going in with the left.
Here we'll see where the knockdown happened. That was called a knockdown, and I have to be honest. I said it at the time, and I will reiterate it now. There was no way that was a knockdown, and it was called a knockdown, however. Here, however, is where a good right hand lands by Acelino Freitas, and he landed many of those in the last round. There's the hook. That's the punch that's supposed to work against a lefty. And watch how he runs to his left and then throws that right hand. It's been an effective move. It's just one you don't see very often. There, look at him, boom. That's running to his left to throw right hand.
Boxing's version of the no-look pass.
Yeah, exactly.
No-look away pass in basketball. Round 7 scheduled for 12. Now, you wonder how many of these people came here thinking they were going to see Gallagher tonight in this theater.
Nobody is throwing anything into the audience, though. That'll be their first tip.
Yeah, usually it's fruit.
No, push it down. I'll pick him up. Okay, let's go. Okay.
The gift knockdown puts Acelino Freitas in a very commanding position now in this fight. I have him at 59-54 because of that. He's at 2 10-8 rounds in this fight, and he was very lucky to have that be a 10-8 round, though surely he won the round.
Freitas being pulled into the ropes and has a nice smile for some of the fans there ringside. and some of the officials. Remember Freitas, the beneficiary of a questionable knockdown of the Casamayor fight. So here's another one in the Grigorian fight.
You know, Artur Grigorian has a hobby. He dances the traditional dances of Uzbekistan. So people say I'm as good a dancer as I am a boxer. I think Acelino Freitas is showing him a couple of steps he might want to incorporate into those dances.
Freitas just walked into a straight right. Well, if Grigorian is a dancer, that would make Freitas off the Murray.
That's for sure. Good right hand by Freitas. You get the feeling that these right hands continue.
Get out.
Eventually, they will be enough to get to Artur Grigorian.
Well, what's he going to call that one?
Go to corner.
It's a knockdown.
Okay, that's 3.
Oh, my God.
4.
Another
whack in the head.
6.
Yeah.
7. 8. It was all with a punch. It was all with a punch.
Grigorian really ticked off now. That's the second time. Even Freitas, I think, agrees on that one.
Well, you know, Eddie Cotton could look to the timekeeper when she jumped up. He's the one that has to make the call on whether it's a knockdown. That's twice now. He's been very confused and looked to the timekeeper as if she's making the ultimate judgment on whether it's a knockdown. That's not true.
So Freitas getting credit for 3 knockdowns, but 2 of them highly questionable. The last 2. So we approach the final 20 seconds of round 7.
I'm loath to criticize referees in these instances, but in this case you have to, because those are 2 grievous calls to Artur Grigorian, who hardly needs anything else to go against him.
Time!
Yeah, maybe a moot point, but still.
Hörst du, was ich sage? Und dann hau deine linke Hand oben drüber. Richtig in die Kurs. Und sofort zweite Mal als Aufwärtsschlag. Zweimal der linke, okay?
2 times the right, and then uppercut.
Das haben wir so gut. Einmal Acelino. Das steht immer nach.
Here's where there was a left hand that kind of cuffed him around the back of the head, but that's an illegal maneuver. It's not a punch, so you can't call it you cannot call that a knockdown because it's not a legal maneuver. He's grabbing him and knocking him down. He hit him not with the glove, but with his forearm. That's so blatantly not a knockdown. And Eddie Cotton's close enough to see it. You have to say, he just missed it. Now there again, he did the same maneuver. This is not called a knockdown. It's the same thing.
Let's go.
So very inconsistent on the part of referee Eddie Cotton as we headed around
Let him go. Get out.
number 8.
Thank you.
Now there, Freitas ran to his left, and what did Grigorian do? The right thing. He threw a straight left hand. He's now realizing that's a move Freitas is going to use on many occasions, and he's trying to counter it. The Brazilian fans getting into it.
Really singing and chanting. Getting behind Acelino Freitas, the son of a lottery ticket salesman in poverty-stricken Salvador, Brazil. Now he's a big celebrity in his home country of Brazil.
And how popular is he? His fight with Barrios, who of course is from Argentina, broke the all-time record for television ratings in South America. Trinidad de la Hoya was the one that preceded him.
And it's probably like the middle of the night, too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, with all that coffee in Brazil, nobody's sleeping anyway.
Exactly. As we look at the press row score.
Might be an insurmountable lead. Of course, Grigorian will need some dramatics here to get back into this one. Midway through the 8th, scheduled for 12 for the WBO Lightweight Championship.
I have it 69-62.
Good low. Right on the hip.
Come on, you got up to 5 minutes, so if you want to walk it off.
No problem.
Popo understands a little English.
Okay, stay there. Okay, all right, okay. Go.
Speaking of great lightweights, I always thought Roberto Duran understood more than he let on.
I did too.
Never spoke it back to you, but always felt like he knew exactly what I was saying, so I was very careful.
Yeah, I felt the same way about several of my broadcast partners.
Me included, I'm sure. English is my second language, huh?
Under a minute, round 8. Blistering right hand on the neck by Acelino Freitas. Oh, he's just wailing now. And down goes Grigorian. That's a knockdown, folks.
That right hand did land.
And Grigorian disputes that. Not this time, Artur. 4 times. 2 of them questionable. 4 knockdowns for Freitas. The first and the fourth were legit.
Good job.
Weil du auch unter der stehst, aber Artur, siehst du, du triffst deine linke Hand und setzt nicht nach. Junge, du musst ihn zweimal schlagen, habe ich dir auch eben gesagt. Okay?
You have to
Siehst du nochmal. Schon mal einmal
show your right 2
Und
times.
jetzt guckst du nochmal in Ruhe aus. Konzentriere dich mal. Artur, du schaffst ihn. Du musst den Coach sein. Ab Punkten gewinnen wir das Ding hier nicht.
This was a moment in which Acelino Freitas suffered a low blow to the side, really, which is a good thing for him, but still, it stunned him for a moment. He was given a few moments to react. And then he started throwing punches from everywhere. And this is where the knockdown would come, I believe. That's a push.
Oh, it was a push.
Yeah, that's a push. That's get him. So he's got a good case now that knockdown number 4 was specious. Eddie Cotton, is he in there? Is he watching a fight or what?
So 3 questionable. It's a great replay showing that the 4th knockdown was also not really a knockdown. It looked like it. You know, I'll give Eddie Cotton the okay there only because it even looked like a real knockdown when it actually happened, but
he's closer than us, Steve.
Yeah, not by much.
No,
right
that's
here.
true, but
we're right on top of it. But
that's, you know, yeah, I mean, he's more of a spectator in there now. I hate to say it, but he really is.
If we were any closer, we'd have our own cut man.
That's true.
Grigorian does have several later round knockouts to his credit. 1 in the 9th, which is where we are right now. 2 in the 10th, 1 in the 11th, 2 in the 12th. But, you know, he's met nobody perhaps the caliber of Acelino Freitas.
This is certainly the best fighter he's faced. And even if Acelino Freitas is fighting an unorthodox fight, he's fighting an effective fight, and he's shown flashes of power. He's shown pretty good defense. Again, though it's been unorthodox, he's been slipping a lot of punches. But from time to time, shows us that good straight right hand.
Grigorian desperately needs a dramatic event here if he wants to extend his streak of 17 consecutive title defenses.
Well, when in 8 rounds you've had 4 knockdowns, whether real or not, they're official. And 10-8 rounds, it's very tough to win a decision.
Grigorian with 22 of his 36 wins by knockout. Freitas has been down 5 times in his career, as mentioned, 2 times in his last fight in that brutal battle with Jorge Barrios.
Now, you might ask, okay, what can Artur Grigorian do when Freitas runs to his left and tries to throw that right hand? Well, a round or so ago, when Freitas did that, he anticipated it and threw a good straight left hand and hit Freitas. See, he's letting Freitas get to the left without doing anything, and then there's the right hand by Freitas. Or a right hook, of course, from Grigorian, but his right shoulder was operated on, and he doesn't have a great right hook, so he's having a hard time keeping Freitas in front of him, and maybe that's part of Oscar Juarez's plan. Well, now trip. What else?
Good job.
Very accidental there. Again, the respect of both guys towards each other.
Any resemblance to regular boxing is purely accidental.
Yes. One of those nights.
This has been interesting. Go after a. That's good. There is, you know, I don't want to. rush to judgment or overstate the case, but I thought there was a big lack of technique and focus in the Barrios fight. And in this fight, while Freitas is doing very, very well, his technique and lack of it is a little bit of a disturbing sign, despite the fact that he's winning.
You do see sort of a trend here of late with Acelino Freitas. He seems much more disciplined earlier on.
Technique is an issue with him right now,
even though he's way ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, breathe. Breathe. Put some water there. Okay, come on, Papa. Breathe, just breathe. Go up, relax. You are the best. You are the champion. You have no problem. Fight intelligent. You understand? Be intelligent.
You see, when you're fighting a lefty, it's very difficult to get your legs here. Look at right there. You see the legs all tangled up, and that ends up with a trip. And it's tough to get your footwork going against a left-hander, and that's what created that.
We see legs getting tangled up with southpaws and collision of heads. We haven't seen that tonight, elements of that tonight, but we have seen the legs get together, tangled.
Okay.
Grigorian's been down 4 times in this fight, but 2 of the questionable variety. Body shots here now by Freitas.
Hand speed is a big issue, and coming into this fight, both men claimed they had better hand speed. I thought Freitas did, and it turns out he does. And that's another reason why, when he runs to his left and just wings those crazy right hands, that Grigorian can't stop him from doing it. He's just not quick enough with his hands. And again, if he could throw a right hook effectively, it might stop Freitas from getting there, but he's not.
Not only the speed, but the reflexes of Acelino Freitas. And don't forget, Grigorian, 36 years old, 8 years older than Freitas. And usually, they say when you get older as a fighter, you don't lose your power. You use your sharpness and your reflexes.
And Artur Grigorian is not a power puncher, so he relies on the accuracy of his punches and being an effective boxer.
So it's going to haunt him even more so as he gets older. He said he wants to fight 2-3 more years after this, win or lose.
And you could just feel it. There's Eddie Cotton with some kind of warning to Grigorian.
How you feel about that with the low blow? Are you all right?
No,
okay. Go to the corner.
Well, this is interesting.
No, but you got time. You got a point.
Oh, he's taking a
low blow. We got a point. Low blow. Got a point. Low blow. Okay, we got a point. You got to go to work now. Let's go. Go. Okay, go.
It's pretty academic, but nevertheless, Eddie Cotton taking a point away. Much too late.
Interesting. I did not see warnings. Maybe they existed, and I didn't see that many low blows.
Good job.
Is that, again, a basketball reference? They would call it a make-good?
Maybe it is. Only Eddie Cotton knows.
Well, he's going to love us after this.
Well, you know.
But you know what? You got to tell it the way you see it.
I have been very loath over these over 20 years to sit here and criticize referees, and I don't do it for the sake of it. He's been a spectator in there, and has missed at least 3 or 4 major calls, not just a knockdown. Is it an unorthodox fight and maybe a difficult one to referee? Yeah, in some respects.
Well, this is really a wild night because you've got an awkward southpaw in Grigorian and an awkward right hand in Freitas.
Exactly correct, Stephen. So it's produced some odd goings-on,
I guess.
But certainly, unless something changes, Acelino Freitas is well on his way to winning a lightweight championship.
And then becoming perhaps the most dominant guy, particularly if Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Leonard Doran move up from that division, the lightweight division.
Step back.
But where are the compelling fights if those guys do move up? And as we said earlier, Freitas has not ruled out moving back to 130, although his promoter, Artur, said probably not going to happen. Probably stay at 135.
Give it some water. Give it some water. Okay, breathe. Pull your back up. Okay, keep your head up. Breathe, breathe, keep breathing. Relax. Listen, Popo. When you go to your right, don't put your head down.
We'll see where the low blow came from Acelino Freitas. That was off to the side. His head was actually there. The low blow was way off to the side. Barely landed, really.
It was on the bone.
Yeah, I mean, it was low, but
it's where Grigorian's was towards Freitas earlier.
And really not even as low as that. But still drew a point deduction.
And while there have been some questionable calls by the third man of the ring, I mean, unquestionably, the officiating will have nothing to do with the outcome.
Ultimately, it will not affect the course of this fight. Freitas would have surely be winning a decision, but you can just imagine when Grigorian goes back to Europe and decides to fight on, and the press talks to him about it, they will, I guarantee you, talk about this fight and bring up those questionable decisions. And it will make the score of this fight much more lopsided. But certainly Grigorian probably hasn't won, but maybe 1 or 2 rounds max, if that.
Grigorian opening himself up there to a barrage by Freitas. And a smacking left hook to the head by Acelino. Comparison past 10. Grigorian's been there 7 more times than Freitas. Freitas 34 to 31 knockouts. Grigorian 36-0, 22 knockouts. So something's got to give here tonight. And it looks like it's going to be in the hip pocket of Acelino Freitas.
Those 3 decisions or distance fights for Freitas have come in his last 5 fights. Everything before that was a knockout. So we're now more accustomed, and he went almost 12 rounds against Barrios, knocked him out in the 12th round. So we're accustomed to seeing Acelino Freitas fights go longer, as this one has.
A non-competitive affair. Now Freitas on his bicycle, trying to stay out of the way.
Good left hook a moment ago for Freitas, a more conventional way to attack a lefty. Now, they gave Freitas great advice in the corner. They may have given it earlier. It was the first time I heard it, though, where they said when you run to your right, when you move to your left, rather, don't duck down. That's where you can be hit by him.
Freitas pulling a Johnny Tapia, looking into the crowd, winking, signaling, and giving the high sign. Oh, that was a good left hand there. A straight left by Grigorian.
That came as Freitas was running to his left, trying to look for a chance to land that right hand. And this time Grigorian timed it perfectly and hit him with the left hand.
Freitas got that one in the jaw. Has to be careful not to be careless. Not lose his concentration. He is way ahead. Won just about every round, plus the 4 knockdowns. So it's probably very lopsided. 3 judges: Melvina Lathan, Donald O'Neill, Clark Sammartino. Easy one to score for them.
You're the champion. Okay, let me talk. Breathe deep. Listen, Popo, you're very good. I like it. Now let's get short punches. Okay? Let's try to take him out. 1 and 2. Can you understand? If we're going to go with the straight, we're going to put a hook. You're going to straight and you're going to hook.
A very different tale for these 2 fighters. For Artur Grigorian on the right, at age 36, perhaps he's seeing the end of his long, long reign as a lightweight champion and showing really signs of age here. For Acelino Freitas on the left at 28, a rite of passage for him as well, because while it looks looks like he's winning the lightweight title, Steve, he continues, in my mind anyway, to drastically alter his style as a fighter.
And Oscar Suarez wants him to take Grigorian out. Let's see if Freitas can close the show in high-powered fashion here.
And it will take a bolt of lightning for Artur Grigorian to win this fight now. And he has shown no evidence in this fight, or really in other fights, of having that kind of power to take Acelino Freitas out.
Grigorian perhaps showing a little too much respect for Acelino Freitas. So let's see if Freitas goes with the notion of no more Mr. Nice Guy here in round 12.
He will go back to Germany and talk about these knockdowns and other things, and also how bad things went for him. And you know what? We may never see the Sven Akis and the Byers and those people here in the United States now.
Now a cut around the right eye of Grigorian, just to add insult to injury. Streaking down the right side of his face.
And for the first time in this fight, Freitas is now whacking him with left hooks, which I would have thought he might have used earlier, but now they're getting there.
Freitas is trying to put Grigorian away here in the 12th, and puts his armor on him almost in an embracing way and smiles at him. And blood continues to streak down from above the right eye of Artur Grigorian. I'm not sure if some of it's getting into the eye. I mean, it's all academic at this point. And I think Acelino Freitas is sparing Artur Grigorian any further embarrassment. We approach the final minute of round 12.
You know, Freitas said that coming in as a challenger, he kind of liked that. He felt that against Casamayor, because Casamayor had what he called a more prestigious title. He said, I like being cast in this role, and he has performed accordingly tonight. It's been a little weird, but it's been effective.
He waves to the crowd, Freitas. And he says he's more motivated in this set of circumstances by coming in first as the challenger. It happened against Casamayor, now against Artur Grigorian. He's on his way to winning his 3rd world championship, but as mentioned before the fight, if he wins, he'll have 10 days to decide which titles he wants to keep, the 130 or the new 135. So it should be interesting to see what he does. As he just dances around, he's not going for the knockout. 15 seconds to go. Grigorian at least looking to end on his feet in proud fashion.
Chasing Freitas, but to no avail.
That's it. All over. And Acelino Freitas will be a lightweight champion. As the Brazilian flags come waving down, and Freitas talks to the heavens and his father. And he's always on the phone after a fight. It's become a tradition, a trademark of Acelino Freitas, talking to somebody back home. Usually it's a cell phone now. What happened to the modern technology?
You know, that's interesting. He needs lessons from Joe Horn on what to use.
You know what? The next thing you see, he's going to be emailing in the ring after a fight on the computer.
And there's Eliana.
Yep. They just got back together again. He continues to be a good luck charm when she's in attendance.
One of the best I ever seen.
He wasn't there for the last fight.
Great sportsmanship.
When they were separated. And now the hordes of Acelino Freitas fans just want to touch him. He's right above us as the fans reach over us just to get a touch of their hero from Brazil. So much emotion and passion here. So it looks like it's going to be a very happy new year for Acelino Freitas and his promoter Art Palulo right there.
He starts it off in grand fashion. And for Artur Grigorian, not a pleasant trip to the United States. at 36. Probably the end of his championship time. He might very well be able to go back and fight on in Europe, but as far as the championship, it seems unlikely.
If we go inside the ropes with Albert,
there were a total of 4 knockdowns officially in this fight. There was one that was real, that one, a right hand, and then in the 6th round, there was kind of a cuffing slip, if you will. There was a cuffing motion in round 7, and in round 8, again, it would be a push by Acelino Freitas. And so one of the 4 knockdowns certainly should have counted. But they were official and helped make this what we believe will be a lopsided decision.
Acelino Freitas talking back to the Brazilian broadcast in Brazil. And we get it up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr. right now, who has the numbers for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards with the unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Clark Sammartino scores the bout 115-108. Judges Don O'Neill and Melvina Lathan both score the bout 116-107. All 3 in favor of the winner and the new WBO lightweight champion of the world, Acelino Freitas.
So a one-sided unanimous decision for Acelino Freitas, including 4 knockdowns, although several of them were questionable. And the long reign is over for Artur Grigorian. It ends in his American debut. And now they embrace. Freitas stretching his record to 35-0. Now 12-0 in world title fights. Grigorian is king no more.